What's up, everybody? It's I, the Juice Man 3941, coming back at you with episode 110 on the Gaming Roundtable, Immortal Unchained new game. Now, lots of you all, if not 98% of probably, or 99% of y'all, I know probably yesterday went to midnight launches and different releases, and probably today, and you're going out to buy Spider-Man. I did not do that. Instead, I have been following a game for a while called Immortal Unchained. It's a new game. It comes from a company called Toadman, and published by Sold Out, and it is a futuristic take on a Dark Souls-like style of gameplay, except this features prominently more futuristic, blended with some with Norse mythology, dealing with the nine realms. Even though they've named some of the realms a little different in their names, but they're all represented here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the game because a lot of people may not know anything about this game, and it's a little bit different from Dark Souls, even though it takes a lot of cues from Dark Souls. But it also takes some cues from my all-time favorite game, To Human. But there's reasons for that. I'm here with my first character, and I played a little bit of it already, and just to kind of get a feel for it, and I have a better understanding. So I usually, when I play a game, I will play a game, I will start the game, I will play it for a little while, get used to the controls of what I'm getting into, and then make my actual character. You can play females, although they look, for whatever reason, I think they just took the male body and put a more feminine face on it, and still made it muscular, and it just does not look very good. You do have different disciplines, and the different disciplines do change, as you can see, your stats, just like any Dark Souls game. Excuse me, I've had some allergies all morning. These are trackers. It says their flexible carrying gains increased effective range from its tactical scope, and their daggers strike fast and effortlessly. Their training or innate aspect pattern allow master weapon handling and minimum reload times. These guys, to be perfectly honest with you, are very much like a berserker style class. Vandals are masters of the art of destruction. Their defender rifles are fitted with grenade launchers to blast group of enemies using cleavers, as you can see here, to finish off any survivors. They're nimble enough to avoid danger, and their innate aspect pattern makes them resistant to fire and explosions. Now these guys here, again, you can see they're more agility focused and crowd control. Raiders are fierce killers. They favor close range tactics to dodge around enemies. They strike from weak animals. Their deadly subguns cut through flesh and undead cortex with ease. Axes deliver their finishing blow when necessary. And see, these guys use axes and SMGs. Wanderers, of course, they equip themselves with these type of auto rifles and clubs, and etc. and so on. Marksman, your sniper, basic range class, and mercenary, which are what I was using on my other build, which uses shotguns and stuff. Immortal Unchained. So I'm gonna make my guy here, but we're gonna rename him, of course, and I'm gonna rename him Baldur, from Baldur, the god of light and protector of humanity. And I gotta figure out what I would like to play as. I might end up playing a tracker. I think that sounds good. Now, when you do make your character, you do have a variety of skin types. If you go back to 1, it's more human-looking skin type. You do have the hairstyles are a little weird. There isn't a whole lot to choose from. There's a few options. Face details, you can give them beards. This is like plain. You get your head tattoo, your body tattoo. You don't have to have any if you don't want it. And I'm doing my blue kind of face, Baldur kind of look, which is what I'm doing. The tattoos are always the same color across the board. Now, making my character. I'm going to continue the game. I will want to set up this too to tell you that while
In an age long since forgotten,
this is the beginning.
a prophecy once told that there would come a time the sun would grow dark and cold.
Can't skip anything.
A bone-chilling wind would surge from the deepest pits of the abyss. And the dead would rise in its wake.
I'm going to go ahead and skip this to get into the game and tell you a little bit more. I don't want to spoil the beginning story for you all. This game is definitely, when I think about Dark Souls and I think about Bloodborne, I think about The Surge, I think about Lords of the Fallen, I think about all the different variety of games I own. The Surge and Lords of the Fallen, I own Dark Souls 3, I own Bloodborne, I own Dark Souls 2, which, but I don't have the recent remaster. This seems actually kind of cool. It's clearly been whipped with laser whips or something. It's really neat. So I will set up with this game to tell you all that it is definitely, it's really hard. It does have the Dark Souls-like kind of difficulty. The difference is the enemies in this game, like you, also use guns at times, and some of the stuff that they do, I mean, they do a lot of damage. I mean, a lot. There's these guys with pulse rifles that shoot like 4 or 5 hits, and if you get hit with any of those, depending on what class you're playing,
quickly go forth
like
and
my
find
class
the grand
I just
hall.
started out with has less health than what I was using. I mean, I would be dead. I mean, you can dodge, obviously, but the thing about your dodge is that your dodge starts out very low. Yeah, you start out with like 26% or less, and then you have to build up your dodge, your basic agility stat, to get it to where you can actually have more frames of invincibility. So it is a little bit different than Dark Souls. This guy here walking around with sword and with that and shield, I'll be dealing with him at some point here. I'm gonna go turn the master volume down some because I know how this works in these games, so y'all can still hear me and still probably hear some of the game without being completely drowned out. There's traps like that in the game too. Laser traps, like I said, it's all kind of based around that. There's a lockbox. Forgotten items. Those little bits that you pick up, those are your basic souls. That's how you upgrade, of course. You get your health and your mana and your stamina bar. Again, classic Dark Souls. And then you go to these obelisks. There's a lockbox here. I got a prison guard pistol. It ain't much to look at or sneeze at, to be honest with you. Obelisks are your basically place where you level up. It's your basically it's your basic bonfire. Let's do these weapons here. Gotta equip a weapon. Equip it. And you can upgrade your weapons too, which is nice. So like if you like a particular weapon, you don't have to keep switching to new weapons and stuff. You can continuously upgrade it up, and like I think you could upgrade around 10 times, so to make it good. You can lock on, of course. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, you know, you have guns, so that should make the game easy. It doesn't. not even in the slightest. It does not make it easy. Let's just say that much. So the game does have labyrinth style design. I can like free aim. A lot of enemies are weak in the back or the head, or you can lock on, of course. These little undead guys are peons, but I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get to the guys that shoot. The first big boss of this area, not the sword, not the shield guy, this guy here, But the guy, actual boss of the area, he's got a gun. He shoots. He charges at you. It is a difficult, much more difficult game than you would think. One of the things I do like is all the enemies do have a stamina meter below them, so you can see that and where they're at, and that's kind of a nice thing to see. I can hold down L1 here and do a big shot on him. See how his stamina meter drops as I shoot him. When you locked on, you don't roll dodge. You sidestep dodge. See, his stamina was down, so you actually saw him kind of like, stagger, and you can stagger enemies. Reload speeds are affected by your attributes, so some of the weapons reload very slowly. If you want to get that better, of course you know the drill. I beat that guy. The game actually looks pretty good, even though like your character model looks pretty decent. I like the sheen of everything. As you get into the game, you find out, it is based around the 9 realms. It's based around Ragnarok. It's based around Norse mythology, which I love. And again, most people bought Spider-Man. I bought this because I just love Norse mythology. I like Dark Souls games, and again, there's a reason why it is kind of not like it at all in many ways, but there are some similarities to one of my favorite games. Okay, got a jaded carbine. You get serum decrees, as it says, to unlock doors. Some take more than others. This is a onesie. That is a shortcut back to the obelisk that I was just at. As I see, it put me right back to where I was because that door opened that. And so again, the level design in the game is like Dark Souls. It actually does bounce back and forth between themselves. So you can like find one pathway that opens up to a different pathway. I literally got 2 hits from that guy with the rifle, and it did like literally nearly half damage. This guy getting hit 3 times. He got killed by his own grenade. Healing is very fast, by the way, which I like. Alright, here's some. Now I can actually equip a melee weapon. Excuse me for that sneeze. And I can equip my my carbine now, which is nice. I can also level up here. I'm definitely putting more into agility. Also decreases the time to use a med pack. Increases your effective dodge skill. Certain weapons do also have neat aspects in order for you to use them, by the way. It increases your stamina pool, allowing dodge and run more before becoming exhausted. Increases how fast your stamina is restored while recovering. Increases med pack efficiency. That also increases damage dealt with standard weaponry. So that actually helps with you doing more damage weapon-wise. I'm going to give to agility, because I need to have a better agility and increase that. And you hit the D-pad up to switch between your weapons. Of course, daggers are your, as you can see there, using your melee attack. Oh, unless the reticle turns red, you ain't hitting him. He's gonna come right for me too. And yes, the enemies can hit each other. Those guys do a lot of damage. And it sucks trying to deal with some of the enemies in this game. That's a definite there. This is a trap where you have to run after it starts going. It actually speeds up when you start running through there, so you gotta be quick. Again, this is a Dark Souls-like game based in futuristic, pseudo-futuristic fantasy, and it's just a really cool game. I really am digging it so far. This gun has very nice range. Some of the guns you have to get a little bit closer to use. And Immortal Unchained, this is what's been going on. This is another shortcut. We're right back here, which is nice. Oh, I forgot to get this lockbox. I can continue. When you go to the obelisks, by the way, it does reset all your ammo back, so that's kind of nice. Level up again, which is what I'm going to do. Give to endurance there. There we go, a little bit more endurance. That was a glitch there. I already busted it, but it came back. So the game also had a 2.4, almost 2.5 gig update at launch. So, and it did add a bunch of fixes. I mean, it added a lot of stuff, fixes. So apparently the game was very glitchy on the PC. I also want to say, when you do decide to play this game, or if you do pick it up, I would turn the camera sensitivity down to about 2, because the camera is incredibly sensitive, and like, I mean, when you move, it's literally like, it's crazy. It was not unplayable, but it was very, very disjointing and disorienting. So totally, you wanna go ahead and fix that, and change that back to put your sensitivity down. And I recommend, like I said, there's a 2 blip there. That's basically where it actually feels much better. You might like 3. I like 2. The camera moves. It just seems more natural in that way. Oh shit. Sometimes enemies are not always in the same spot they were. I really hate these pulse rifles, guys, because they do way too much damage. And I'm literally pretty much out of ammo almost. And that sucks. That's another thing. Enemies, unlike Dark Souls, they're not going to just put them right back here where I first encountered them. They'll actually put them random places on there. So yeah. This is the actual boss fight, where you actually have to fight this boss. I don't have a lot of ammo, so I don't know how well this is going to fare, to be honest with you. And that's why that's... See, I mean, it starts off you're just getting... His charge move is designed for you to basically get out of the way. I'm going to switch to my pistol. And then you can shoot him in the back. I'm being stupid and not dodging is my problem. Like an idiot. And I got killed. You could not make a mistake in this game. Much like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, this game will kick your ass. You can recuperate the souls and stuff that you lost, but it does kind of suck because I'm gonna have to, like, I might have to just run past the enemies at this point and get back to the boss while I have a full and this sucks because, again, they're gonna make me fight these guys, so I'm gonna draw them in. Just use my pistol to take them out. These guys do a lot of damage. Those guys with those little rifles, they kick your ass. Okay, I gotta sprint through this trap again. Okay, on this way. Yes, this game will punish you if you do not. Like, if you do not if you are not on point with your dodging and, you know. Here comes these guys. Best to try to use cover if you can. He threw a grenade, and actually he got hit by his own grenade, which is nice. Okay, I'm gonna heal. and I'll be at the boss again, this time with a full clip. My Carmen would try to beat this boss, but it's definitely difficult. And again, you need to dodge like pretty much straight on. Oh shit! See, and he does this. Look at that. Like if you do not stay on point with your dodging. And like Dark Souls, you pretty much have to wait for your opening. See, I've gotten him in the back there, which kind of stun locks him. You almost have to wait till he gets through his pattern of shooting. See, I fucked up there. He's reloading. As soon as you can get his stamina bar down, you do a lot of damage to him. Oh shit. Oh shit. Heal. Shit. Damn it. Damn it. He's got the stun lock. It's hard. Like I said, it's Dark Souls in a futuristic setting with guns, and it is definitely hard. You got to really stay on point with dodging and understanding the enemy's patterns. I'm not saying that I'm the best at those games either, but I do enjoy them, and that's tough. I guess learning the new, never playing this game before, trying to learn enemy patterns and things like that, especially bosses, can be difficult. So now over the core. And that's basically the first level of the game. You get out of prison, you're released, and you're in charge with taking out, stopping Ragnarok amongst the 9 worlds. So it takes its cues from Norse mythology and puts a spin on it. And this guy appears the guy that freed you. Again, it's a very nice looking game for sure. I also want to say that I think it's kind of interesting that, let me go over here, that your character has like these Riddick like glowing eyes, and I think they took some cues definitely from that game, as far as like the eye shine thing that Riddick has. But it does have a really nice lighting engine, and that's the entrance to the world I'll be going to, which is they call it Arden. It's basically Hela's realm. So we're gonna go up here and talk to this guy.
You live.
Who, as you can see, is like 10 feet tall.
Do not be alarmed if you have no recollection. The detention affects the mind. As such, you stand within the Grand Hall, the only sanctuary remaining. But that, too, is in jeopardy. The undead are unrelenting. As the monolith weakens, we face a grave threat. You seem to be our last hope.
You want to talk to the monolith, and it's actually spread out like the world tree.
It is said that in the beginning there was light, and the great monolith revealed itself. Born from this was the stream, flowing binding and creating the cosmos and all within it. Stars and planets formed, and life followed. This was the dawn of all races. But as the first children of the monolith explored the power of the stream, their worlds collided. Ultimately, one race would strive for power. They were the Prime, and the instigators of the Prime Azurian War. With their victory, the Prime claimed the core, and with it, the whole of the monolith. It bestowed great power unto them, and gave them dominion over all life. Great cities were built. Technological advancements in trade allowed the worlds to flourish and bloom. And thus, the Golden Age began. This was the time of heroes, where legends were born and their stories told. And so it was for eons. But this was not to last. An evil is spreading through the cosmos. All is in jeopardy.
Alright, so I can connect to the monolith, I can interface and change aspects and do stuff like that. I've got an aspect of dexterity, just lets me increase my reload speed. Weapon wise, I can't use this yet because you gotta have certain traits. So I'm gonna go up here to my attributes in a second. So I'll have more strength to be able to use that shotgun. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself more strength and go from there. You can talk to this guy. He'll tell you basically the situation. You know, hey, I released you from prison, blah blah. And this is actually the first realm you'll go to. As you can see inside there, you can see the realm. And that's I mean, in a nutshell, it's Dark Souls in a Nordic mythological setting, but it definitely has that far-flung future vibe about it. And if you like Dark Souls, if you like Norse mythology, it's kind of where this all kind of comes from and takes cues.
Connection established. It appears that the pathway between the core and your position is stable. All gateways allow you free return to the ground hall. Transmission stability will vary. Our communication will be only intermittent. Welcome to the primordial realm, the only one that still remains open. It is void of life, but not death. Find the Nexus Wall. Take heed where you tread.
Point of interest, it says the ninth realm. The cradle of life, unsought destination for all mortal souls, the realm of death was carved into the bowels of an abandoned world by the Queen of the Dead herself. That would be Hela, or Hel as she's known. They did a good job on the whole blowing wind, kind of snow. Like it's a really great effect. The world feels very cold and very distant, and I like that. Here's the obelisk for this realm. If you just want to touch. You continue here. Energy potion.
Your flesh does not rot. You are not of the abyss, are you? Be careful. Delve too deeply into the darkness, and you will become a part of it for the rest of your days and beyond.
Alright. This is Immortal, Unchained, and there's going to be an enemy right over here. More little bits. There's a container down here in the corner. Got a Legion sidearm. It's good to go back and equip that. It is a better pistol than what you started out with. Let me run back to the obelisk. Weapons. There we go. Oh, another thing too, when I was talking about the upgrading, you can upgrade 6 times actually. I thought it was 10, my bad. But I can upgrade the components. It gives me, as you can see, more damage and more stability damage. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it to rank 2. So it's kind of nice. You can actually scrap weapons if you're not going to use them. You'll get bits and stuff for it. So that's kind of nice. And so we got that going on. I'm gonna increase that. I can't increase that yet. So you do, as I said before, once you use the obelisk / bonfire, you can you get your ammo back. We got a walking right there. There's gonna be a couple undead guys that come alive here, but over here on the right, there's a guy, and he's gonna try to shoot the shit out of you. And this is best thing is to draw these guys out first. I mean, you just get clipped by these guys. It sucks. You see, fuck you up. Melee is definitely only useful when you really need to use it, so I'm not hurt on that. Switch back to my carbine. There's a guy there, he's gonna shoot you. You can't do anything about it because he's behind a shield. One thing you can do is dodge and try to not get raped. Man, I got killed. As you can see, like, you know, forget it. It's Dark Souls difficulty, you know. Didn't know that that undead guy was going to be there. Seen him, rolled, and got shot, and that was the end of it. So, the game definitely, you have to be cautious, and you have to be careful, and it kind of sucks because I lost 2,600 bits or whatever, but that's okay. I'm still getting basically my feet wet in the game and trying to understand its basic enemies and patterns and layouts. So, of course, I'm going to be terrible at it. See, when they're stunned is when you're supposed to go into melee, but unfortunately I just again exposing myself like an idiot. Gotta try to get my bits back. See the guy, there's a guy over there somewhere. See, oh, then this guy. Oh, then he threw a grenade. Damn it. See what I mean about the damn difficulty? Throwing shit at you. It sucks because at least that guy's coming down. Dead again. I mean, you're just getting attacked from every angle. It kind of sucks because it's like, what do you do? You know, it's like there's the guy here, a guy up top, the undead over here, the guy over here throwing grenades. It's like, and trying to find the right angle when because you can't shoot the guy behind the shield, and yeah, it's rough. It's very, very tough because you got to try to figure out, you know, the best approach to every situation. And since like I don't have any like armor, and you do get armor later on, I know that for a fact, but like for right now you're so bare bones, you have very little to no protection that you know at all. So that does kind of put a damper on things. It's tough. Sucks. Damn it. Fuck. Shit. Oh, there's two of them. What the hell? God bless it. Right, there's two of these guys. so that helps. Very, very difficult game. Very hard. Very hard. It's a lock on that. Shit about that. Let's see here. Oh, there's an obelisk, thank God. I'm hurting. You have 8 and 14. Wow, you gotta have 8 and 14 strength. 8 some kind of finesse. Still can't raise anything. At least I found an obelisk. Well, guys, this has been episode 110 of the Gaming Round Table. And hopefully I'll be bringing you some more gameplay of Immortal Unchained. It's a new game that was released on a PS4 and Xbox One today. And it's brought to you by Toadman and published by Sold Out. And I bought this instead of Spider-Man. And so far I am liking it, although it is very, very difficult, and hopefully I will continue to enjoy this game for the next several weeks or months or however long I decide to keep playing it. And I do like it so far. I'm just kind of, like I said, trying to get my feet wet and get used to it. And I want to thank you all for joining me on this episode of the Gaming Roundtable, episode 110, Immortal Unchained. And as always, gamers, good gaming.